Oh my god, guys. We got the Galaxy Watch 4, you got the Galaxy Watch 4, but no one got that battery life. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great, is it? Here are 20 tips to help with that. Goedendag, we're DHRME, and damn honest reviews making sense.
Okay, you know how the story goes. This watch has a beautiful AMOLED screen. The flip side, beautiful battery drain. Don't worry, we got you. You can use that screen to actually save battery. Confused? Here's tip number 1. This is simple. With AMOLED screens, every pixel your watch has to light up consumes battery. So pick a watch face with as few lit up pixels as possible. A largely black watch face, because a black face is better than a white face.
What the f?
Now, we're not getting political here, but if your watch is woke very often by you raising your wrist, then those animations in busy watch faces will just consume a little bit more battery. So animation is not a good situation for battery degradation, just like complications.
Tip number 2, we're simple guys. We avoid complications. And we mean not just in life, but also in our watch faces. Like this video if you also like to keep it simple. Anyway, you can add dynamic information to watch faces like the weather, your heart rate, calories burned, etc. But these complications need to keep updating themselves continuously to show you the latest information. So try to limit them to the essential ones. I personally have the weather, battery life, and a step counter only. You can long press the watch face and customize the complications to your liking. Okay, now this is pretty obvious, but definitely in combination with tip 1. If your watch display drains a lot of battery, then don't keep it turned on. Simple, right? Okay, please don't unsubscribe. What we mean is that you have the option to turn your display on all the time. You know, we like the ability to glance over at your watch and look at the time without having to wake it up. But you're a tweak freak, right? So it's best to turn this off either in the settings or from the quick settings by swiping down from the top. You can still wake your watch when you raise your wrist, tap on the screen, or on one of the buttons. If you want to get extreme, then disable the raise to wake option so you avoid the screen waking up every time you move your wrist in a particular angle. Another obvious screen tip, go into settings, display, and scroll down to screen timeout. Make sure you set this to 15 seconds.
This next tip is changing your colors to grayscale.
But that's stupid, the screen still stays as bright with this option.
You're stupid. If you activate grayscale mode, the GPU works with 256 colors instead of millions. And those are some battery gains right there. So if you're ready to trade in that beautiful display for grayscale, then head into settings, accessibility, visibility enhancements, and turn on grayscale. It's not an option we typically use since we still want to kind of enjoy the watch and its colors, but hey, it's there if you need it. Another tip from Captain Obvious, but this probably makes the biggest difference, so we have to mention it. The Galaxy Watch is also able to adjust your screen's brightness based on the ambient light, but checking the level of ambient light and adjusting continuously is taxing for the battery, and the screen might get much brighter than you need it to. So head into settings, display brightness, and switch off auto brightness. Then click on the brightness level and adjust it manually. We keep it to a little under 25% and it's been more than enough for visibility outdoors.
Alright, we here at DHRME are fitness fanatics, but we like our battery life a bit more. Head into settings, Samsung Health, and scroll down to auto detect workouts. The Galaxy Watch 4 is able to automatically detect and start a workout for you. But this drains battery as it's trying to tell if you're working out or not. So turn this off and just manually start your own workout to track it. Come on, work out that finger. Tap your screen. Next tip, scroll down a little bit to inactive time alerts. You can have your watch alert you to get up and move if you've been idle for 50 minutes. This means it needs to continuously monitor if you've been moving or not. I personally find this offensive and the constant insults are not good for my self-image. So turn this off. Setting a recurring reminder every hour is probably more battery friendly.
Okay, now let's talk about tweaking some health tracking features.
Ooh, can I track more calories than I've actually burned?
No. Kevin, this is about saving battery life, remember, not your fake reputation. So do yourself a favor, head into settings, Samsung Health, and you'll see heart rate measurement. You can have the watch measure it either continuously every 10 minutes or manually. Not sure about you guys, but apart from workouts, we're not too fussed about what our heart rate looks like at least 6 times an hour. Change this to manual because that heart rate sensor on the back of your watch is a battery drainer. And don't worry, it'll automatically measure when you turn on a workout, the time when you actually need that heart rate monitoring. We cannot stress this enough. This watch has so many features, it can stress us out. And one of these features is stress measurement. So switch to manual stress monitoring, not continuous. To do this, from Samsung Health, select stress measurement. In order for the watch to measure your stress, it needs to use your heart rate sensor. Change to manual and you can be less stressed about your battery dying. That's a few too many stress puns. Hey, and while you're in that menu, you guessed it, go right below the previous option we talked about, select blood oxygen during sleep. Sounds like a cool feature to have, but this again is a sensor that's activated during sleep to track your blood oxygen percentage. Turn this off because you can always measure your blood oxygen manually from the health app if you really need to.
Okay, moving on to the next tip. It's almost as if Samsung lined these settings up to be turned off. Snore detection. You'll be prompted to check your phone for this one when you turn it off. Snore detection is great the first few times to see if and how often you snore. And maybe also have a cheeky listen to how your body makes involuntary and embarrassing sounds. But unless you have a medical condition that requires monitoring this, why do you want to record this sound? And bonus, it saves some battery and storage on your phone as well. Let's save some more juice related to apps on your watch and notifications. Since the Watch 4 now runs on Google's Wear OS, you get access to the Google Play Store, meaning a whole library of apps to choose from. And that means you can get some third-party apps that do specific things. But somehow these apps have a way of negatively affecting battery life. So unless you have a very good reason to do so, avoid partying with the third parties. And in the same vein, go through the apps and uninstall any apps you no longer use. You can do this by long pressing on the app and hitting uninstall. For this next tip, go to the Wear app, watch settings, notifications, and disable notifications for apps that you don't necessarily need popping up on your watch.
We're really breezing through these tips now. Next. Yes, it's kind of a flex to check notifications on your watch, but it doesn't need to light up like a Christmas tree every time you get one. Go to settings, notifications, and scroll down and turn on screen. You'll still get a vibration or alert for your notifications, but the screen won't automatically turn on. For this tip, go to settings, sounds and vibration, and make sure they're set to short and light. Now, long and strong may feel real good on your wrist, but it also means the vibration motor needs to work extra hard and it's worse for battery life. Depending on the Watch 4 you choose, you get a couple of connectivity options. You can save some battery here as well. At this stage, we're just kind of getting into that last minute desperation stage, and we're desperate for you to subscribe to our channel. But if you buy the base model, you get Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and NFC. You'll need Bluetooth to stay connected with your phone, but you can't turn off Wi-Fi unless your watch isn't connected to your phone and needs an independent connection. You can go do this from the quick settings or go into settings, connections, and then Wi-Fi. And NFC is also turned on by default and is needed if you use contactless payments like Samsung Pay or Google Pay. If you use neither, then you can toggle this off from quick settings or settings as well.
And the next one only applies if you've bought the LTE variant, because then you basically have an eSIM connected for mobile internet and the ability to make and receive calls without it being connected to your phone. If, however, you are connected to your phone, which most people will be, then turn this off from the quick settings or settings, because a SIM connection really is a battery drainer. And the final two tips are in their own little category. But don't confuse the size of the category with its impact on battery life. This tip, Bixby. Everyone has their own opinion about it, but that's besides the point for this video. Bixby can be summoned either by a button press, but also does listen to the Hi Bixby wake word. A watch that's constantly listening not only sounds scary, but is also one hell of a battery eater. So go into the Bixby app, scroll down to settings, voice wake up, and turn it off. If and when you need Bixby, just program a button to call it up and you're all set. Now the final and tip number 21 is when the going gets tough or extremely tough. When it's getting tough and you want to squeeze a few minutes or hours out of your watch, depending on the battery level, then do this. Go into settings, battery, and turn on power saving. And as you can see, it will turn off a couple of things we already turned off with the previous tips, but it will also limit background processing. You can also enable this mode from the quick settings if you want. But when it's getting extremely tough, then you've got the last resort, watch only mode. This mode is below power saving mode in the settings, and it will essentially make your smartwatch into a watch. So all you can see is the time when you press the home button on the side. Depending on the battery level, this can make your battery life last up to 14 days. You can switch this mode off by pressing and holding down the power button or charging the watch.
That's it guys, more than 20 tips to get several extra hours out of your Watch 4 or Watch 4 Classic. If you got this far and found it useful, then come and say hi in the comment section. Any tips we missed out on? Anything else you'd like to know about the Galaxy Watch 4? Tell us. You've been smart about your watches, and we've been DHRME. Namaste.